Welcome back to Around the Oaks, episode 5. It's crazy. We're almost out of numbers to count on one hand.
Yep.
We're going to have to get a microphone stand to do number 6. All right. So, today we have an interview with the Scoutmaster and Cubmaster for Troop and Pack that are here at the church. So you're going to find out
about that.
What they do here, kind of.
I was a Boy Scout myself. You were a Boy Scout.
Yep.
So we're looking forward to talking to Todd and Greg.
Looking forward to talking to them and finding out what they do for the boys here and how that leads them forward in life. But before we get into that, we have an icebreaker question.
Icebreaker!
You can have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life. What is it?
I can have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of my life. What is it? Easy. 3 words. BQ. That's all I need.
I like it.
That's all I need. Lifetime supply of barbecue.
I went a little bit more practical.
Did you?
I said batteries.
Batteries?
Yes.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to specify what batteries.
Well, I'm going to ask you to specify what batteries. If there's one size of battery that you want to have, you can't have just any battery. It has to be one size. What's it going to be?
I'm going to go with AA.
AA. That's a good safe bet.
Yeah. I mean, maybe 9
volts.
volts.
That goes in most stuff.
Burn through 9 volts like they're candy over here.
We do. Well, yes, we do. Although the new ones you got for my microphone that I use on Sundays, they last like 3 weeks.
It's good.
Because they're very expensive. Yeah, right. Uh-huh. The other ones didn't last hardly one service. The other ones were
30 cents a battery.
Yeah.
And they sure acted like it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But, all right. So let's jump into the interview then. We're here with Greg Zimmerman and Todd Shaw, Cubmaster of Pack 978 and Troopmaster of 145. Troopmaster, right? Scoutmaster of Troop 145. So, welcome. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Great. Thanks for having us.
So, let's start off with some question. How did both of you first get involved in scouting?
Age before beauty. Okay. So, I started as a scout when I was in 4th grade. I was a Weeblo. I was not an Army brat. I moved around a lot. And unfortunately, I left my scout career when I was a cub. And looking back now as an adult, I regret it. I regret it as a child, but I didn't know how easy it would be to go to a different community and just join and pick up where I left off. I see that now as a leader and how I was reintroduced to scouting. The recruiters from the Eagle Empire District came out to Oakland Avenue Charter, and they heavily recruited one day. Great flyer, launch a rocket, go to a Magic game. And my son was like, yes, let's go. And I went there, and he went outside. They made a little rocket. They went to go launch it, and I sat there, and I was all in. I wanted to be there and just do this thing together. I think it was a great bonding experience. Yeah. Little did I know, months later I'd be a den leader, and the following year I would take over as Cubmaster.
Well, for me, I did not have scouts as a kid.
Yep.
But I grew up in the woods and the mountains, and my dad taught me outdoor skills. And so I got introduced to scouting with my oldest son. And he did not make it to Eagle, but my middle son went on. I continued on with him. Again, he didn't make Eagle either, but they all went to life. And then I thought I was out of scouting for a while.
Yeah.
Then my grandson came along. And as a Cub Scout, he wanted Grandpa to help him with scouting. So I started with him as Cub Scout and stayed with him until he became an Eagle Scout. And then about that time, the founding Scoutmaster for this troop had passed away, unfortunately, and I had stepped up to fill his shoes. Hopefully I've done right for him.
I'd say you have. By the way, did you guys know that you are currently inside an Eagle Scout sandwich? So I'm an Eagle Scout. Travis is an Eagle Scout. So, 2 big pieces of Eagle Scout. And, man, I loved scouting. Yeah, I loved it. My son went on to be an Eagle Scout as well. Awesome. That was a shining moment. Yeah.
Well, I've stayed
and my church was the one that sponsored the scout troop. Great. So that was really cool to have that at my home church. So, and the history here at Oakland Press, I've been looking at some of the old picture books and stuff like that. And so, Travis, I'll give this to you. Maybe you can put it in there. There's a picture here of Cub Scouts in the 60s. I think that's that one there. And then here's a picture that looks like at least from the 60s of a scout shack. There used to be a scout shack, I guess, somewhere that the Boy Scouts built. I don't know if it was on our property or somewhere else, but it just shows, scouting's been a part of this church for a long time. And scouting's been through a lot of changes. Yeah. And so what's different about scouts now and what's the same?
Well, there's a lot of differences in scouting, mostly in their organization. Mm-hmm. They've added girls, which affects the Cub Scouts more than it affects me, because we're an all-boy troop.
Okay.
When they allowed girls into scouting, it's not a co-ed thing. There are Girl Scout troops, which are all girls, and then the Boy Scout troops are all boys.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they're not intermingled.
Okay.
Now they are in Cub Scouts.
Yes, they are.
So that's a challenge.
Yeah, because we had boys and girls on Scout Sunday. We had both boys and girls Cub Scouts. That was cool.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. What else?
Well, the things that are the same is teaching outdoor skills and leadership. And that's one of the things I like the most is seeing the boys when they don't usually see it at first when they're first join the troop, but eventually they watch the older boys, and then they become a older boy.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I'll go to help a boy and show him how to repack the tent because we're packing up, and an older boy walks in and steps up to do that job, and then I just back off.
Yeah.
And that's what I like, because then I know that boy has just started taking leadership.
That's kind of the art of being a scout leader, I think, is you have to know when you need to kind of step aside and let the boys lead each other, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a rewarding thing when I recognize now that boy's taking leadership.
Yeah.
And I can step back.
Boy Scouts have been in the news, unfortunately, about, in the past, some leadership that didn't do well by the kids. How has Boy Scouts addressed that? How has Cub Scouts addressed that in general?
I'm happy to start from the Cub side. So when I started from day one, you have to do an extensive background check.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there's also youth protection that you have to complete as well. And it's not even just the leaders. The children have their own side of it where they need to, they earn the cyber chip, which they have to do every single year to prevent and understand more of like bullying awareness and other things as well, things that they shouldn't see on the internet, or, you can be bullied anywhere, in person,
right?
Virtual, it happens. And it's not just bullying, it's safety all around. And safety is very important, obviously. But, we have actually, extensive training as a leader. I feel like some of these training modules we take, it's the same type of training modules you take at a corporate, office environment. I have hours and hours of training to do each year, and it's mandatory.
Yeah.
They see it from a national level, and then which goes down to the council, to the district. We need to make sure that we're always, on time with our training to make sure that, we're good to go. And we also, especially for the younger dens, a change that we did is we start letting in kindergartners. Every kindergartner parent actually is a leader.
Okay.
They have their own parent handbook, and they have to complete their own youth protection training as well. And we also ask our Tiger Den, which are first graders, to all those parents as well to complete youth protection. So not only our leaders, our volunteers are on our committee, but then you have grades of parents as well. They have to take the same tests and everything else. So it's sad to see what has happened in the past, but it's nice to see that they're moving forward with the proper precautionary measures for sure.
Yeah. Just real quick, people may not know, you're a Cub Scout until you are
at the everyone's a little different. For Pack 978, It's typically around the month of February, and then that Scout's 5th grade year.
Okay.
Then they cross over what is now called Scouts BSA, because when they started letting girls in, they dropped the Boy Scouts of America.
Okay.
So now it's Scouts BSA, and as Todd mentioned, there's there's a boys troop and a female troop, and we have girls that have crossed over. My daughter will cross over in 2.5 years. She will not. Her scouting journey is going to unfortunately end, but she would not go to Todd's troop. Hopefully, he's still the Scoutmaster.
Yeah.
But if she were to, she would go to an all-girls troop.
Okay.
And it's great. And how we handle it, in the Cubs, parents are very hands-on. Mm-hmm. It's not like sports where you're on the sidelines. You're into it. You're working with your children, and so we're not babysitters. They go to the campouts. We have very strict rules. You can't share a tent with someone else unless it's your sibling. Parents are there. Men, women, doesn't matter. We don't discriminate at all. It's really welcoming, and it's a very family-oriented thing.
Cool.
And not that the troop level isn't either, because now my son is in a different troop and learning as well. It's still, but at that level, the young men and women, they're really learning to do things on their own, and it's incredible.
So Cub Scouts until 5th grade.
Yes.
And then you can transition into Scouts, and that goes till when? When's a boy age out of Scouts?
18.
18.
Yeah. They have till they turn 18 to earn the rank of Eagle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then
I know that firsthand because my son hair of his chinny chin chin.
I turned in my paperwork the day I turned 18. So
Which counts. That's what counts. Todd, what has been your shining moment? What is the moment where it was all worth it for you as a
Eagle.
was that a shining moment for you when Travis got his Eagle? All right.
There's been many. I would say there's many shining moments. It's hard to pick one, but I definitely would say each boy that has earned the rank of Eagle.
Yeah.
Even before I was Scoutmaster, I helped many of them when I was committee chairman, along with Tom and some other great leaders. Mr. Sharp was fantastic as the Eagle coach, and
Nice.
I miss him. So, when the boys achieved that rank, I had one boy that did it in 22 months. He was quite old when he joined the troop.
Yeah.
And
He was on a mission
he
too.
wanted to get Eagle. I'm like, I don't know.
So he started from the very bottom rank all the way to Eagle in 22 months.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
So,
That's working hard.
right. And
Yeah.
that
That's awesome.
I enjoy all the campouts.
Yeah.
We camp every month, whether we need to or not. And we have a summer camp and winter camp.
Yeah.
And those, I enjoy camping, always have.
Yeah. Greg, how about you? What's your shining moment been?
Definitely this past year, our blue and gold was very special to me because my son, who we started the journey with together, was crossing over. But not only himself though, but there was actually a large group. I've been with this den from day one as a den leader and watching them all. It was an emotional evening for me. I definitely shed a few tears that night. And then the next day, we had Scout Sunday, and when we left Scout Sunday, one of our former scouts, he brought a little bag, and I thanked him for it. I wasn't going to open up in front right then and there. I wish I did. Mm-hmm. And my kids went to a birthday party, and they said, "Dad, open it up." And I opened it up, and he knows that I love Legos. And this boy, at the end, after he already crossed over, he went home, he shut his door, and he made a little diorama of 3 individuals. It's myself, myself, my son, and my daughter, and they looked
Lego
amazing.
anatomically correct.
It was
Yeah.
absolutely insane. I'm looking, I'm like,
Wow.
wow. And the detail he went through this, and also the other things. I deal with computers, and he had that, and just I was beyond moved, and the point that I had a little mini breakdown in the car. Had to call their parents right away. I'm like, "Did you know what Ellis did?" And they he want to tell us. We knew he did something, and that was such a proud moment to see these kids from the beginning. And people say, "Oh, they'll remember that their whole lives."
Yeah.
And I see it.
Yeah.
And I don't need a pat on my back, but when some things like that happen, and I'm sure Todd has many moments like that, it's just a really feel-good moment. It's very rewarding, and it makes you want to continue to do this. And it's not, again, for yourself. It's to making sure
Nice.
that they will have those memories and move forward and hopefully succeed in life.
So on the flip side, I'll start with you with this one, Greg. What is the grossest, weirdest thing you've done as an adult leader of Cub Scouts? You were doing it and you're going, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? Can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah, you'd think it would happen on a camping trip. No.
No?
In fact, no. No. And actually, it's happened twice, but I definitely had the top one. It's courtesy of Travis's older brother, Austin. Austin does a great job at, he's not a member of the church, but also our assistant Cubmaster. He does an exceptional job writing a bunch of our leader skits. And my first year as a Cubmaster, he wrote our Cubmaster skit. And it's always kind of last minute because he doesn't want me to, not that I would bail out of it.
Yeah.
But he's always going to tell me very, very last minute.
Yeah.
He did say this, though. Bring a shirt that you don't mind getting ruined. Pants are optional, but I wasn't going to fully change because I had to, I'm moderating the whole thing. I'm
Yeah,
hosting
right,
it.
right.
So we ran back to the kitchen real quick. We took off our Class A tops. We had undershirts on. We threw a shirt on, went back to the stage, and he's got a jar of jelly and a jar of honey. And he warned me right before what was happening, and I'm like, are we really going to do this? Okay, fine. So we sat down, and we're on the risers right up front, and all the kids are out there with their family members. Pastor's probably there as well. And we just do a bit where one has the honey, one has the jam, I'm not sure who has what, and next thing you know, let's say I have the jam, and I'm smearing it on Austin's shirt. And I really forgot the details as to why. Next thing I know, it's going on our pants, our shirts, and then I remember it going on our faces.
Yeah.
And then it follows up that one of our Aero Light Scouts walks by with 2 slices of bread and wipes it on our face each,
Yeah.
puts it together, and makes just a big chomp, and it
Yeah.
bites into the sandwich.
Yeah.
And we're just here covered in jelly and honey, and I'm like, wow, Austin, that was pretty creative. But at the end of the day, I can still hear the laughter and the
Oh,
scream
God,
of the
yeah.
kids. It was definitely, you can hear it from Oakland Avenue. It was, the things that we have seen happen in the CLC, and that brings always,
Anything that involves making a mess and embarrassing an adult leader is going to be a
and
hit.
also more importantly,
Automatically.
we left no trace. Everything was cleaned up, and again,
I don't
that-
know, the floor's still a little sticky.
well,
Yeah.
I think it was the first year we had the new floors here as well,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
it
that's-
worked
that's a
out
good
very
choice.
well. We got
Yeah,
the carpeting I've seen in photos was long gone, but that goes back to how grateful we are to be able to use the facilities for sure. So thank you.
Thank
Todd, what
goodness
about you?
there's
What's your
showers.
grossest, weirdest thing that you've done?
Again, that's like, where do I start? There's so many of them. But recently, we went to Sea Base.
Yeah, down in
And,
Everglades,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, we went to their island out there, which has no electricity, no running water, and it's actually a key. I learned the difference between an island and a key, by the way, which I never knew. But anyway, Big Munson Key was given to the Boy Scout organization on Christmas night in 1980 something. I forgot. They told me, but after I got there, I understood why it was given to them. They call it sargasso. I'd never heard that term before, but it has an arch and it faces out to the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay.
And all the crap that gets dumped in the ocean washes in there and it can't get out.
Oh,
So you paddle out there, it's 6 miles. So after paddling for 4 hours and you're exhausted, you jump out of the canoe, and into chest deep water.
yeah.
Which was not too bad, but then you start walking to the shore, and about 30 yards you have to walk through this stuff, and it's like walking on top of a septic tank. It smells like a septic tank.
Ooh.
There's hundreds of flies that are
And this is supposed to make the boys better
Yes.
people.
And it's sticky, and it wants to suck your shoes right off your feet.
Oh my
As you
gosh.
start walking.
You win, by the way.
This stuff. Yeah, you get through, and you get on the other side of it, onto the sandy side of that sargasso that they call, and I would call it something else, but that's the polite word for it.
Yeah, yeah.
So you get over there and you dump your personal stuff down, and guess what? We all got to go back out because we've got all the water that we brought and all the food that we brought that we have to go back out to the canoes and come through.
Oh, yeah.
And then every day going in and out through that stuff.
Ugh.
It's just, it was so nasty. And then the weirdest was we do a camp out quite frequently where we go night kayaking to see the bioluminescence.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And we go out at night, and we're going through Hullover Canal, and one of my boys paddled up beside me, and he goes, "Mr. Shaw, there's dolphins here." And right when he said there's dolphins, a dolphin comes up between our two kayaks and blows all over him. Now, I know it's just water, but I said,
Wow.
I told him, I said, "You got dolphins."
It's not
snot
just
all
water. It's coming out of the
I
dolphin.
said, "You're having an experience that most boys will never get."
Yeah.
Is you got dolphin snot on you.
And if it was late enough, the bioluminescence would have looked amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
right,
yeah, I
right.
know.
For sure.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a good
he
one.
was sparkling green
Yeah,
snot all over him.
that's great.
Well, you mentioned the building, so, we are the sponsoring organization for both the Cub Pack, or the churches for both the Cub Pack and,
Correct.
and the Scout Troop. And what has come with that sponsoring relationship with the church? What have been the benefits of that for you guys?
I'll start. Yeah, why don't you start?
There's a lot of them. And when I go to adult training and talk to other Scoutmasters,
Yeah.
I really feel more blessed about our troop being here when I hear some of their woes. Yeah, we have the building to meet in, and that's great. And we got extra rooms if we want to split our patrols up.
Right.
But we have a nice scout trailer that over the years that my predecessor was able to accumulate, and we have lots of great equipment, and we got a nice garage to store it in.
Right.
And other troops that have had acquired trailers and camping gear, and they don't have a safe place to store them, have had them stolen.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And not that they want the camping gear, but those trailers are very valuable.
Yeah.
So, and ours is extremely nice trailer, and we have a nice.
Yeah, 'cause
The
we could
church supplies
keep it
the
inside
garage
when it's not being used. Yeah.
to park that in. It helps us on also keeping the tires out of the sun, so we're not
Right.
spending a lot of money on new tires all the time.
Greg, how about you? What's it been like? What's the support you've felt from the church?
I mean, first, the building alone is amazing. We have everything broken down into dens. Your den is, each individual grade. So from K through 5, you need their own space, and we're able to, utilize all the classrooms. We have some common areas where we can meet as well, especially the CLC. And, we don't use the CLC as much. We use it for when we have a pack meeting, and there's about 5 to 6 of them a year. We also use it for special events, either if it's, our advancement of ranks at the end of the year, which if it's nicer out, we would love to have it outside under the tree, which we did the year prior, and that was great. We just had a monsoon last year, and we were a week too late, so it was a little warm and buggy, so we're glad we moved it inside last minute. But we've also used it for, key things like our Pinewood Derby.
Right.
Utilize the shed for storing it. Again, very expensive thing that we're able to store somewhere, and it's very heavy and bulky. And then we can
That's
just put
the
it in there.
track.
That is the track. And our race this year is in February. But, we got other events where, we'd like to be able to give back to the church and, say thank you by either hosting, a pancake breakfast or spaghetti lunch. And, we do that in the CLC. And it's just great moments to say, thank you. We from a financial standpoint, we really don't ask for anything at all. I think we do a pretty good job between our dues, maintaining it, do a lot of fundraising through either selling popcorn and camp cards as well, and also have enough to be able to provide financial assistance if needed to families, because we want to make sure that every scout can, earn their way and have fun. But also earn your way is when they sell that, up to 20% of, their popcorn sales. I mean, I had 6 kids that paid for scouting last year through popcorn fully, and a larger number of them, but maybe 8%, paid something towards it. So it's nice to be able to give back. We're not here to look to make a dime. We're, at the end of the day, a nonprofit organization. We just want to see these kids grow and excel and have fun. And it goes back to, being about family. These are speaking on the Cub side, not, very important years to work with these children, and your own kids. Again, your parents are there in all the den meetings. We're, again, not babysitters. We don't drop off. They're there. And I've had parents come up to me, not just the kids, but wow, this has been great. What a ride this has been. Yeah. And it's always, exciting then to watch the kids that go over to the troop level and then make that next journey to here's one right here.
Yep.
And his siblings.
Yep.
So it's pretty incredible.
Well, let me just, real quick before Travis gets on to kind of the wrap up.
Certainly. Just
a message, I think, that I can communicate from the church. It's the good adult leaders that make it. The boys, there's a lot of responsibility given to them, but if they don't have that guidance and that structure and just the encouragement, right, and the support, it's not going to be as good an experience as it can be. So we're just proud and thrilled that great guys like you have taken on a leadership role. There's a million other things you could have been doing with your time, but investing in these kids makes a generational difference, and then that becomes what shapes generations after that.
Absolutely.
So it's a huge impact, and just so grateful for you guys for taking on this role.
Thank you.
Sincerely. Yeah, really appreciate it.
So now let's say that you haven't been totally turned off by the idea of scouting by seeing people get rubbed together with honey and jelly.
Yeah.
Where can they get their kids involved?
JoinScoutsFL.com. That's the quickest and easiest. They can go there, not only from the Cub level, but also for the troop level as well. They'll click on the location, click on the school they go to, and I'm speaking, both of us. It doesn't matter where your child goes to school. If Pack 978 and Troop 145 here meeting at Oakland is a great place for you, come. Mm-hmm. We meet Monday nights.
We meet Tuesday nights.
Tuesday nights.
At 7 o'clock, we start 7. It goes to 8:30.
Yeah, ours is 6:30, and from the Pack level, I have scouts from we have 2 partner schools, Oakland Charter as well as Tildenville, but I have scouts from at least 6 schools in 2 different counties. We've had as many as 60 scouts at one time. COVID kind of happened. It happened. And but we've seen our numbers go back up, and it's great. Rebounding big time. And also at our, we had an open house last week for Meet the Teacher, and it was incredible how many families. And first thing they walked in, especially in the Cub level, like, oh, that's for boys only. And I moved my board and getting up there, I'm like, oh no, girls. And they look at the board and they see the pictures of my daughter and others, like, oh, well, wait, what? And so it's great.
A lot of people wonder about, well, how much does it cost, right? They've got their kids' sports leagues and they're traveling and stuff like that. It can be really expensive for some of these activities. What does it cost to do scouting?
They're different, so I'll let Todd go how the troop handles it.
Well, the council level, charges, I believe it's somewhere around $130 a year.
Okay.
Now we handle that. Each boy brings in his monthly dues, and our dues are $10 a month.
Yeah.
That usually will cover for the re-charter the following year.
Mm-hmm.
And it also helps to pay for the patches. And
man, that's a Hulu subscription.
Yeah, it's
less than that now.
It's incredible.
Wow.
Well, and then there's generally the costs. So when we go camping, there'll be the costs of grub, and whatever park is charging. If we're going to a state park or a county park, there's little different fees.
Okay. Some
of them are free. Some don't charge. Some do. So, and then, like I said, we go every month. It's not mandatory that you go every month, but if you don't go, then you miss out on some adventure.
And you guys supply a lot of the equipment too. I know you guys have tents and cook gear and all that stuff.
All the cooking gear, all the tents. You just basically need to bring your.
So parents don't have to go to REI and completely outfit their kids for all this stuff.
We have lots of backpacks, so we have our own kayaks and
Yeah,
canoes
yeah.
and life preservers. We have many to fit almost every size boy. We have backpacks to fit almost every size boy, as well as the adults that volunteer.
Cool.
If they don't have their own. So when we go hiking, we have a lot of equipment. Basically, you just need to bring your clothes, sleeping bag.
Yeah.
You know, if it's summertime, you might want a battery-operated fan.
Yeah,
For sure.
the pack level is slightly different. For brand new scouts, anyone that's going to register, and we have 2 recruitment nights next week, Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday is going to be at Tildenville Elementary. I'm sorry. Tuesday is going to be at Oakland Avenue Charter, and Thursday is going to be at Tildenville Elementary, both 6:30 p.m. in the cafeteria. Again, students don't have to go to those schools. Whatever is convenient, they can just come on out, sign up that night.
Nice.
There's a one-time fee of $80, which includes other program fees. Like, a lot of people don't realize that the district does a lot of great things where they have other extra things where they'll do a district derby, which I happen to be the chair for, and extra events that we can do, or they do a day in the beginning where all new scouts can go check out, and this is what a BB gun is. Learn about that. Actually get a chance to shoot it, an arrow. Learn about camping basics. All those extra things are
Nice.
included. But for us, again, Todd mentioned about our recharter. Our dues are $200. It's optional how you want to pay it. It's either up front. We have it broken down on monthly fees if needed. Again, we offer financial assistance. But as I mentioned, popcorn sales are huge. Again, we have scouts that can just sell popcorn peanuts. And what I tell, they're not selling popcorn peanuts at the end of the day. I tell our scouts, you're selling scouting.
Right.
You're out there either at the Publix or the Ace Hardware, and you're in your Class A uniform, and they'll ask, what does this go to? And they say it. It goes to my camping adventures and everything else. And, 8 hours, a scout can easily earn $1,000.
And popcorn is better for you than Thin Mints.
I have a sign during camp card season. This is not to, it's a fun one. I say, cookies are cool, but saving money is a lot cooler.
Yeah, right.
And that's something they use that to sell our camp cards. And we do pretty well. We do pretty well.
All right. That's some aggressive marketing right
Yeah,
there.
for sure.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us. Absolutely.
Thank you, Travis.
Nice job, guys. Appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
We'll be sure to let you know, keep you updated with what the pack's doing. If there's any events coming up that we can come together as a church and support you guys with.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks. Welcome back.
That was cool.
That was.
Really enjoyed. I've gotten to know those guys, and I know they're just quality guys. But to kind of hear their passion for what they do, I know they really mean it very sincerely.
Yeah.
It's very much a part of them, and we're very fortunate as a church to have these great leaders.
And I was fortunate as a scout to have at least Todd as my leader.
And we
So-
should probably say that we do have Girl Scouts
Yes, we do.
and I think Daisy Troop that meets here too. So that's for another time. We didn't want to necessarily exclude them. We're just excited that this building can be used for all this great stuff in the community and these organizations that are really working with kids. That gets a lot of families into our church. It's all good.
And this is the second organization that we've really showcased here, with being the preschool and now the scout
Yep.
troop. So you can look forward to seeing more of those on the podcast.
Absolutely.
So before we get into our what's coming up around the Oaks, we're going to ask another question. If you could permanently eliminate one thing from your daily to-do list, what would it be? So this
So I can take one thing out of my typical day, is what you're
Yes.
saying.
And this started out as chores. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. Maybe we'll do that again later. But I'll start. My thing would be sleep.
You would take sleep out?
Yes. So
Really?
sleeping is just one of those things that it's not supposed to be stressful, but it is. It's like, oh, I got to make sure I'm in bed by this time so I can wake up. It's like, if we just take it all out,
Because you need a certain amount of sleep or you're just not going to make it.
not even that. It's just I stay awake all the time. So like today, I was
Are
up
you a
till,
night owl?
I was up till 5 a.m. this morning.
Wait, you didn't get up at 5 a.m.
Nope.
You were up until 5
Yep.
a.m.? What's the point of that? Did you even sleep? Did you go to sleep?
I did.
When did you get up?
2 a.m., 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Ah, to be young again. That would mess me up for a whole
yeah.
month if I tried to do that.
And meanwhile, it's just a revolving schedule around the week where it's like, all right, I got to
Okay.
be up at
Sleep is a hassle. Is what
6
you're saying.
a.m. on Sunday.
Sleep is a hassle.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Mine?
Yep.
Peeing.
Okay.
Peeing. I'm sorry. Urinating? I don't know what you want me to say. Going number one. It's a pain. I mean, it's not painful. It's yet. But it's, it just seems like I'm in the middle of a project. It's like, oh, I got to pee. I got to stop what I'm doing, go to the bathroom, come back. It just is this interruption to what I'm trying to do in my day. And it's natural and I have to do it, but I can't stand doing it.
All right.
So we got to, I don't know. I'm not going to go any farther with that.
Great.
Yeah.
So
Moving
now
on.
Jump into what's happening around the Oaks. So what's coming up this next month?
Oh, something big is coming up this month actually next month, but we're getting ready for it now. September 11th, we are celebrating the 135th anniversary of Oakland Presbyterian Church. How cool is that? Very excited about that. It actually, the day is the Sunday prior. That would be the real 135th anniversary.
September
However, that's
4th?
Labor Day weekend. And we thought, I don't know if people will want to stop their plans just because of that. So we're doing it the following weekend. There will be one worship service only on September 11th. So make sure you mark your calendar. And we will only have one service at 10:30 that day. And that will be followed by a potluck lunch in the CLC. It's going to be a really cool service. We're going to sort of renew the charter that we had. It's kind of like renewing your marital vows, your marriage vows. We're going to renew our covenant as a church, and we're going to have some special guests. I'm not going to tell you who. You're going to have to show up to experience it, but I'm very excited about some people that will make an appearance, and it's going to be an awesome, awesome day. So mark your calendars. September 11th. Be here. Be here.
Coming up next week, Owl begins. So this is
OWL stands for?
Oakland Wednesdays Live.
Yep.
And this is where we have kids choir and our faith development, which is Bible study for the younger kids. And youth group is also at this time. So that starts at 5:30 with a pizza dinner, and it goes until 7:30. You can register online. And
I
the link will
love
be
Owl
right
Night.
here.
Owl Night is so much fun. It is great. I like hanging out for it. And Miss Bonnie has the children's choir. And Tiffany does faith formation. It's always really, really fun. Youth group is happening at that time for middle school and high school youth. And it's a lot of fun for us here. So, yeah, you can register online through
Yep.
our oaklandpress.org.
Yep, the link directly to the thing will be on the screen. So use that.
Amazing.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Around the Oaks. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Leave us a comment with your feedback and hit the like button.
us.
And if you're watching on an audio platform, then rate us 5 stars. Thank you for your continued support of the show. Bye.